Hey everybody, it's me, M2 from the Mario Muffet Adventures channel, and today we're making the puppet. That's right, you too can own a puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's. So I'm going to show you how to do that. Alright, so first you'll need our pattern, which is available on DeviantArt. I'll put a link in the description. Then we'll need several types of felt. Okay, so we got this. We got 2 sheets of black felt and 1 sheet of white felt. You can find this at Walmart. Easy to find. You need some black thread. That's what we sew them up with. You're gonna need a pair of scissors. These are fabric scissors for cutting your felt. These are paper scissors for cutting up your pattern. You're gonna need some needles. This is your sewing needle. This is needles to pin up the pattern with. Also, you're going to need this. It is a peace tea can. The whole point is it's a large can. We need this part of it right here. So it's a little bit bigger than a Coke can. You can buy it at Walmart for $1. Any old can like that will do. Also, you need some wire snippers. You could probably use scissors, but these will work better. We're gonna use these to cut up the can. And we'll also need some stuffing. That's just your average fluffy stuffing, yeah. And a glue gun. And that should be everything. Let's begin. Hey, I'm back. I forgot to tell y'all, you need one more thing. You're gonna need some paint for the puppet's face. So as you can see, he is painted white, red, black, and a little bit of purple as well. And so, we've got those colors here. The important thing for your paint is it just doesn't need to be watercolors. You don't need to be something that will stick on there in case you get him wet. So I got white paint, red, black, and purple. And I got some paintbrushes to paint with. Okay, so step 1. You take your pattern and you cut it out using the scissors. Now when you see numbers on the pattern, this means you need 4 pieces, 2 pieces, and so on. Alright, so I cut out the pattern. As you can see, this is your paper version. And we cut out the felt versions to match this. As you can see, the number tells you how many to do. So we got 4 arms, 2 torsos, 4 legs, 2 heads, and then we got some white pieces. This is just a suggested size. So now, I'm going to start by showing you how to attach the arms. Alright, so I've got our torso piece and I've got one of the arm pieces. Now what I've done is I've taken the arm piece and I've pinned it up to the side of the torso. Right here. So it's basically running right along this line. So as you can see, we're up close like this. Now what you're going to do is you're going to sew from here down to the end of the arm piece. You can see kind of right here where the angle stops. So we're going to sew right there. And I'm going to do this for both sides and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we go. Both our arms are sewed on. Look like this. So we've done this for both torso and arm half, so I have another one just like this. But now we're going to move on to the legs. So let me just put this down here. This area right here is our hips. So we're going to take a leg piece. And we'll attach it like this. Now, this is how it will look. So what we need to do is we need to fold it up. And lay him on like this. So let me show you what this looks like up close. So you got your hip piece. Your leg piece is like this. He sits right there. Next to your hip. It's very hard to see because it's black. And what we're going to do is just sew along this edge. Right here. To the hip. And you do the same thing with your other one. Except he'll of course crisscross it. Like this. The other leg will sew in there. Like that. Okay, so I've sewed the legs on and the arms on. And we end up with this configuration. And then we've got another half of this. Before we do anything else though, we're going to move on to the mask. Then I'll come back and show you how to make the head. Okay, so we got our peace tea can. You can see you got the end you drink out of. You got the end that holds it up. This is the end we want right here. This is what the mask is made out of. So, we gotta get it off. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna use our cutters right here. Like I said, you could probably use some scissors and they probably get dull though doing this. So I'm gonna press in the can just a little bit to where I can cut a hole in it. There we go. Be careful, this is sharp. And we're just gonna go around the can with these things. All the way around. Yeah, you know, it'd probably be better to use scissors. We will need this later, but there we go. Okay, so this is jagged, so you gotta be careful with that. Don't cut yourself. So we're left with this right here. This is the important part. Now, we're basically just gonna go around our can and get close to this area right here. Chop off all this excess stuff. Don't let it poke you. And it goes along. Sometimes it can be sharp and unpredictable. So that's a good start right there. We're left with this. Now you got this right here. So this pokey outy side, that's gonna be the face of the puppet. So that means we need to get rid of this as well. So we're gonna go down even deeper. And we're gonna cut around here like this. Going around that ring and cutting it. And so, you could use a normal Coke can, but you'll probably end up with a smaller face. But if you don't mind that, then, go ahead. Okay, we're back. We just gotta go down one more ring. We need to get rid of this extra ring right here. And go down all the way. Now be really careful around here because we want it to remain pretty in this area. This will be the actual side of your puppet's face. Okay, so after we did that, we end up with this nice, smooth face right here. And of course, this is the outside of our puppet's face. And it has a white background, so we're gonna paint it white. Now what I did with the last one is I spray painted it white, you know. So if you wanna do that, it's better that way because it's easier to get a coat. But if you don't have spray paint or you don't have anywhere to spray paint, just paint it with a white brush. So I'm actually gonna spray paint this one. Okay, so, like I said earlier, we paint this white. This is what it looks like when it's spray painted. Very nice and shiny. Now for our puppet face, we actually bent it a little bit to try to give him cheeks, but it didn't turn out so great. But anyways, so we didn't do that. So this is what you're gonna do. You take your white thing and you draw the face on here. Now, we used model paint, and we had used some other paint earlier that didn't work, so that's kind of rough substance underneath there. But this is what you're gonna do. Just take the paint and paint the face onto the bottom of your can. Now this is kind of an artistic thing. It's however you want to do it. There's no right or wrong way. So you can either look at this picture, which I'll leave here for a little while to let you look at it, or you can look up something on Google Images and that will give you just a good effect as well. So you got your head next. That's what we're dealing with. So as you see, I've got it pinned up like this. What you're gonna do is stitch all around the head, but you're gonna stop about here where this black pin is. You wanna leave some room for the neck so that when you inside him out, you'll be able to actually do it. So don't sew this up down here, just around the head. Okay, so now you've sewn the head up like that. Now all that needs to be done is you need to inside him out. So this could be a little hard, so that's why we left our neck open. Just gonna take him and squish him out. Okay, everybody, I've got this right here. This is our two halves of the puppet. We're getting ready to glue it together. So as you can see, I've got the ugly side. This is the side with the stitches on the outside. On both sides, it says ugly side. So on the inside, we have the pretty side touching. That's because we're gonna sew it up and then inside it out. Now he's very skinny, so we gotta sew him up a special way to make sure we actually can inside him out. So you match up your puppet where these two sides are matched up. And we're going to start up here at the shoulder and sew down here to the hand. Now as you might notice, it's square right now. I just left it that way. You can round it off right here. And you sew back up and stop at the armpit. So from shoulder, round, and back to the armpit. And you do that on both sides. Okay, so now that you have done this right here, you've sewed up your arms, you need to inside your booger out. So we're just going to start inside them out. It'll be a little difficult because of how skinny he is, so you may need a pencil or a pair of scissors or something to, you know, jam around in there. Once you get him out, it will look good. Okay, so now we've got that. We've got the arms inside it out, as you can see, nice and pretty. So the next step before we do this, there'll be no way to inside this out if we were to sew it up now. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and stuff our arms and torso area.
Hi everybody, it's me M1. I'm gonna be replacing M2 for this part because he's not skilled in the ways of ladder stitching. And if you are not skilled in the ways of ladder stitching, I highly recommend that you learn it now, because to sew him up, he's just so skinny you can't really inside him out. So I'm gonna have to ladder stitch this entire thing, and this is not gonna be very easy. Okay, so let's go ahead and start. So take your needle, you're gonna go into the fabric right close to the last stitch you made, and then come out so that you get this loopy looking thing. Now pull it, and then you go to your other piece of fabric, like the other half, and this is difficult underneath its arm, but you're gonna do the exact same thing right across from it. Oh man. So go in and then out, and then you're gonna pull it. So if it's not looking lovely to begin with, don't worry, it will get better as you can go down and as you can stuff your body a little bit. So the important thing to remember with ladder stitching is keep your stitches tight. I mean, it's really difficult for you guys to see this because I'm sewing with a black thread on black fabric, and that is difficult. I mean, I can barely see the thread, but you're just gonna have to keep doing this same stitch all the way down, and you don't have to do it, but it gives it a better look. It doesn't look like you just sewed on the outside. It will help his looks a little bit. So this is the look we are going for. So once you're done, just pull your needle, thread, and keep it tight. Okay, so I've made it all the way down to here with my ladder stitch, and as you can see, it looks about like that. That's pretty good looking. I mean, it's not quite as good as that, of course, because I'm having to sew on the outside, but it's doing pretty well. So I've got this one needle, so I'm gonna go ahead and just wrap this needle around this arm right here, not like sticking into it or anything, and then I'm just gonna stick it like that. This is just to hold the string there. And now I'm gonna start another needle on the other side of him, so I'm gonna start sewing down this side of his body with my second needle. This is entirely optional. You do not have to use 2 needles, but I think it would make the stuffing process a little bit easier, because you have to stuff as you go down, and since this side is entirely open, it's just difficult. Okay, so let's continue with our ladder stitch. So just go ahead and sew down to his other hip. Okay, so we've got it this far, and as you can see, it is not stuffed. I didn't stuff it, but as you are going down, I would suggest that you stuff it as you're going down, but you can also do it now. So just go ahead and stick your stuffing up here, and stuff his skinny little waist. So once you do that, just keep going around and stuffing your puppet's body as you go. Okay, so we have our thing. It's going pretty well. Right here I've gone like this far up the foot, as you can see, and over here I've gone quite a bit, strings getting mixed up, further up the foot. So like this is gonna get hard to stuff, so make sure you stuff this leg as you're going along. Okay, so I'm gonna show you how to do the ladder stitch one more time, just because I think this is a very important part of this pattern. So I was hoping that you could understand it. I'm not very great at explaining it, but I will try my best. So if you don't get it, it's like this. So you got your string in here. So just go in on this side, which is the left side, and then pull your string through, And then you go in and out on the right side, just like on the left side. So you go in the fabric and then out, so it gives that look, and then you pull it through, and that's the ladder stitch. So just go back to the left side, go in, go out, pull it, and then go back to the right side. Okay, so wow, that took a long time. I have to say, that took a long time. So I mean, it turned out okay. If you know of a better way to do this, then go ahead and do it. But this is the way we do our thing. So this is your body. It is done. Next, we're gonna be putting on the head. So go ahead and grab your head piece and stuff it. Okay, so we got our head nice and stuffed. It is good. It is awesome. It is wonderful. Okay, so this is how you do the neck. So we left a nice long part here. As you can see with our previous puppet, he has got quite a long neck, but neck is too long right now. So just take your neck, and I'm gonna fold it in actually just a little bit so that you get a nice rounded edge on it, like that. And then I need to fix this, and then I'm gonna put some stuffing down in there, and I'm just gonna ladder stitch these two together. Okay, so you get this look. It kind of looks like he's wearing a collar, but oh well, who cares? So this is. Why do you have to interrupt me every time when I'm like the choo-choo train is going choo? My train thought is like going boom, and oh well. Okay, so this is your puppet. I'm gonna turn it back over to M2, and he's gonna do the final gluing steps.
Oh yeah. Okay, so now we got our puppet. He's completed just about. We got the mask that we made outside. I actually made this one with gray tears because I thought that would be interesting, kind of more like the dead child look thing. And so now we're gonna glue this mask onto his head. And also you're gonna need to cut out a couple more things. You're gonna need to cut out 20 of these little stripes, about this wide. As you can see on our old puppet, they just wrap around his legs and arms. And the actual puppet has more, but ours were a little fatter, so we needed to put less of them on here. So you can use the actual number that the real puppet has, or you can use this, which is 5 on the legs and 5 on the arms. Also, the one last thing you need to cut out is these. They're little buttons. You have there's a little part in the pattern that will show you exactly how to do that if you want it. You just need 3 of those. So 20 of these and 3 of these, and then I'll show you how to glue them on. Alright, so the first step is you need to pick the front side of your puppet. You gotta see which side you want it to be the front of the puppet. That's pretty easy. So once you pick that side, you have the head here, and you're gonna take this mask, and he will be glued onto the face like that. And it will cover the whole head, giving him that sort of look. Now you need to be careful whenever you're gluing with metal. Metal will transfer the heat very quickly. So if your glue gun is really hot and you squirt glue all over the back of your metal mask, then you will feel it quickly. You're going to be gluing the stripes on. This process follows for all of them. Basically, you want to stick your stripe on. I'm going to stick him a little bit above the hands. And you want to wrap him to the back. Once you get it there, you will trim it. These stripes I did are very long, but I just want to use it for example purposes. And then you're going to glue this over this. Now you want to make sure to do it all on the back side of the hand, so that when you see him from the front, it's pretty. When you see him from the back, it's not so pretty. You can also sew this if you want, but gluing is a lot easier. So you just do that for all of these stripes. And then also, last but not least, you're going to glue these buttons on. So as you see, the button starts right here at the top of the chest and goes down to right where the midsection gets a little skinny, so that's basically the whole chest area. 1, 2, 3 buttons. Okay, so here we have it, the completed puppet. So if you like this tutorial, be sure to stick around because we've got lots more coming. Just about every Fazbear you can imagine will have a tutorial at some point. So stay tuned for that. Thanks, y'all.